Hey everyone, Tony D with a Screenwriter's Rant. A very interesting movie I've stumbled upon the trailer for something called The Hunted. And it starts out with a little boy and I guess his mom or an older relative in the woods by a campfire, and she's telling the story. And then the movie starts. And they seem to be different characters. And this is from Shudder. I assume this is a full-length movie. I'm going to give it an upvote. It looks kind of interesting. So these two kind of scumbags, I, I'm not sure their deal. They go out to a nightclub and they meet some girl, or one of them meets a girl and gets her a little tipsy, and the other one watches, and they lure her back to their car where they kidnap her. And pretty scary. And I thought, oh, is it going to be one of these movies where they're constantly killing people? And then they get into a car accident out in the woods. Car flips over and she pops out of the trunk and escapes. And those guys survive, and then it becomes, this is from the co-director of Persolopolis, it becomes sort of like a hunting movie where they're hunting the woman. And but the narrator is telling an interesting story about how the woods, hear her cries of anguish and come to her aid. So it's a bit surreal. And so the woods protect her. And then the animals come to her aid as she battles these two maniacs. And it looks kind of interesting in kind of a foreign movie sort of way. It's got a different kind of tone to it. It's not a typical American movie. I think in a typical American movie it would be more pragmatic. It'd be about this girl learning to hunt and learning, to set traps to protect herself. Or she would see, here's nature coming to her aid, and they're running around the woods, and she slowly beats these guys. Looks interesting. It Hunted, a film by Vincent Paronnaud. January 2021. Let's see who wrote the screenplay. Starring Lucy DeBay. No screenwriter on here? Yeah, why not put the screenwriter's name in here? Who directed it then? Director of photography, producers, co-producers. I guess Vincent did. Yeah, a film by Vincent Paronnaud. I'm going to assume he wrote it too, and that's why they didn't put a screenwriter credit. So yeah, this looks interesting to me. Because you have few characters in just the woods, you can really do a lot with that. And it's like, by cutting out all the extraneous noise of, say, the civilized world. If you're shooting in a kitchen, there'd be all sorts of things in the kitchen that you'd see in the background. If you're in a city, same thing. But if you're in the woods, it's peaceful. And the audience can focus on the actors and the acting. Now the bar, I think, goes up for the actors. They really, really got to sell it. But it makes it a more simple movie. So the events are very simple. Like just her managing to get away by jumping off a small cliff, let's say, and I don't know, landing on something that's soft, or somehow, making her or drop, not hurt herself. If the other two antagonists can't do that for whatever reason, then it's these simple little things that drive the movie. whether or not she can get food, whether or not she can survive the night, whether, how are these animals helping her. It's very interesting to me. On top of the fact you have this narrator driving it, what's their relationship to the people in the story? Is there a relationship? Why is she telling this story? So there are layers here. And I think when you do something a little more esoteric, there's a big risk in that. People may not get it. It may be boring to them. It may just come off as pretentious. But this trailer's looking pretty taut. Looks pretty taut. Looks interesting. Let's see if I can find that still. Yeah, like here she is. She's like beating on the guys and beating them. Oh yeah, here. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, so here here she is, probably by the end of the movie, like covered in, I guess that's some kind of paint, I don't know what, in order to further, scare these guys. So it's one woman against two men. It's a nice, simple narrative. May not even require a lot of dialogue. More, it becomes more of a thinking person's movie. So I find it very intriguing. Hunted is the name of the movie, coming out in January 2021. Think about it, screenwriters. Reduce the clutter in your screenplays. Tell a more simplistic story. Get back to the basics, and I think sometimes you won't regret it.